Welcome into Drew's Daily Diamond for Thursday, May 2nd. I am Drew Martin, breaking down all the games on the slate. We got some day action and prime time games to get into. So let me know your Major League Baseball picks for today in the comments below. And your thoughts, where you agree, where you disagree, all is welcome. Smash that like button if you're liking the content, guys. Without further ado, let's get into our first game up. Battle between two of the worst teams in baseball, Miami Marlins and Colorado Rockies. Hey, they all pay the same, though, if we can find some winners. 12:10 Eastern, 9:10 a.m. Pacific, early riser here. Peter Lambert going for the Rocks. Edward Cabrera going for the Miami Marlins. Minus 150, that's the fish at home. 7.5 being the total. Colorado just 7-23. Miami 8-24 on the season. The difference here is Colorado's lost 4 straight games. They are not playing really good baseball right now. Minus 74 run differential on the year. They've played 15 road games. They've only won 2 of them. Peter Lambert, their starter, he does have one start this season. He gave up 6 earned runs in just 3 innings against the Mariners. Essentially a bullpen game here for the Rocks. I would think they're going to go through and Lambert try to go through one time through the Miami lineup here. So it kind of turns over to how good is their bullpen. Well, by my numbers, this is the worst bullpen in all of baseball. I think this is a tough matchup here for the Rocks. Edward Cabrera, he is off of his worst start of the season for the Marlins. Five earned runs in just 4 innings completed his last time out against the Nationals. He has a 5 ERA, but his strikeout to walk ratio is pretty decent, 21-6. I think the Marlins get this one here, even though their closer, Tanner Scott, likely not available back-to-back days pitching. I don't think it's enough to get me on Colorado here. Guys, when you look at their schedule spot, they were not helped out by that Mexico City trip. They went from Mexico City, losing the 2 games, to the Houston Astros. They lost a couple here in Miami. And then this weekend, a little look-ahead spot towards the weekend, they're at the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think this is one of those situations you just kind of go fade Citi on the Colorado Rockies, and you'll likely make some money here. So let's go with the Miami Marlins, first game up. Let's lay the juice on the money line. Going from South Florida up to New York here, we get the Chicago Cubs and the New York Mets. 1:10 Eastern start, 10:10 a.m. Pacific. 19-12 for the Cubbies on the season. 15-15 for the Metropolitans. They're going with Adrian Hauser on the hill up against Ben Brown for the Cubs. Total of 8, pretty much a pick-em price across the board here. Ben Brown, the starter for the Cubs, 33rd round pick, 2017 out of high school. The 24-year-old thought to be kind of a late bloomer here. He has 7 appearances on the season, 3 starts, 4 out of the bullpen, 4.3 ERA, 22-6 strikeout to walk ratio. He's throwing as high as 98 miles per hour out there, so kind of a flamethrower. Adrian Hauser for the Mets. This is where I think we get a little bit of value here. I'm going on the Cubs pick'em price, and it's because of Hauser. Yes, a big name. He's been around the show for a couple years, but this season he has an 8 ERA, and he's given up 14 earned runs in his last 2 starts. His last time out, this is a guy that throws like 94, 95 miles an hour. His last time out, just 91 on the radar gun. So sometimes that can be an indication of he's injured. I'm going to actually bet this one action, guys. Usually I list the pitcher of the team I'm betting, which I don't have a problem with listing Ben Brown, but I just think, it's one of those situations we want to get down on this in case Adrian Hauser gets scratched. That's what we're going after here. Overall, in terms of like offense, I think it's kind of a wash. But with this Adrian Hauser situation and the velocity being down, his 8 ERA, he's not pitching well of recent. It leads into the Mets bullpen. And sure enough, 3 of the Mets bullpen arms here have all pitched back-to-back days. Ottavino, Lopez, and Foley. So are they available? That is a question. So I think it brings kind of, usually the Mets would have a bullpen advantage. In this situation, I don't think so. So we'll take the better team out the gate, at least this season, with the Cubs pick'em price tag in Citi Field. We'll go from New York to Boston for the next matchup up. 1:35 Eastern start. San Francisco Giants, Boston Red Sox. It's Kyle Harrison going for the Giants, and Josh Winkowski going for the Red Sox. Another pick'em price tag here, guys. Total of 9 in Fenway. Harrison, the lefty for the Giants, third-round pick in 2020 out of De La Salle High School. Looking at his prospect profile, he had walk issues early in his career, but it seems to be fixed this year. 31-5 strikeout to walk ratio. And his last time out, 6 innings, 0 earned runs against the Pirates, 7 strikeouts, no walks. So impressive there. But bullpen issues for San Francisco so far this season. We've talked about it in past episodes. This is a bullpen that used to be very, very talented. Not so much this year. Taylor Rogers also back-to-back appearances. He's likely not available in this one. And talking about the Boston side of things, first of all, they're playing really good baseball right now. They've won 4 straight games. I think that it speaks to they're getting healthier. Their best bats are coming back in the lineup. And Winkowski has 9 appearances, the last 2 being starts. He went 3 innings each. He has a 3.5 ERA overall. Could be a bullpen game here for the Red Sox. And their bullpen's been hot. Over the last couple weeks, a top 5 bullpen whip. Strikeouts are there. They've been better against lefties. Let's get after the Boston Red Sox. 18-13, winners of 4 straight. Hey, remember earlier in the season, there's 5 teams in the AL East. It was pretty much people picking 4 of the 5 teams. The one team not there were the Red Sox. Well, look now, they're 5 games over 500, plus units on the season. Let's ride them again here at home. Pick 'em price tag. Red Sox in Fenway. Next game up, we'll head to the Lone Star State, 2:35 Eastern start time with the Washington Nationals and the Texas Rangers. Nathan Eovaldi, the slated starter, commanding a -200 price tag for the Rangers, up against Mitchell Parker for the Washington Nationals. Parker, a lefty, not really a known commodity, if you will, a 5th rounder in 2020. He has over a 5 ERA last year. I like with these guys, kind of not with a whole lot of MLB experience, to go look at their minor league profiles. Well, he pitched in AA and AAA last year, over 120 innings pitched, and he had over a 5 ERA. Now he's in the major leagues. That's usually something that I take as a handicapper of, man, they just need a guy to go out there and throw some innings. That's not the profile I'd love to bet on, even though so far this year he has 3 starts, 1.69 ERA and a 14-2 strikeout to walk ratio. That's impressive. I just think at some point it comes back to haunt him here. Hey, going up against the Rangers, the World Series champion Rangers, a game over 500 after the, rough start. I think he's going to have trouble here. Eovaldi 1-2 on the year, so not a sexy win-loss record, but a 3 flat ERA and already 36 strikeouts. But the thing here, a big but, 11 walks in the last 2 starts, so he's having control issues. I almost got there with the Nationals plus price off of the big plus price winner from yesterday's show. But guys, I just look at this total 8 flat. I think we get crooked numbers here. I wouldn't be surprised if both of these starters struggle a little bit. I think the offenses get after it. So let's go with the Washington and Texas, the Rangers and the Nationals, up and over 8. We got the last game coming up, but do want to take a second and give a shout out to everybody commenting below in the comments, what your plays are, what you're looking to bet, a reason why, where you agree, where you disagree, any mistakes that I've made as well. A couple of you guys pointing out. I don't mind it. We're all trying to get better. So huge shout out to everybody commenting below. And a couple, I had time with the short card to go through last episodes and see any questions. Huge shout out to Eric talking about his zigzag theory in Major League Baseball. Could it be profitable long-term? Eric, thanks for the question. I'm not a big guy into zigzag theory. People bringing it up, handicappers out there, because it is the NBA playoffs. And that's kind of a handicapping angle in the NBA playoffs. But I think it almost speaks to, in the NBA, it's a business aspect. They want more games. So they don't want a bunch of sweeps 4-0. They want, 6-7 games. And I actually think there's something to that zigzag theory in the NBA. In MLB, I'm more of a ride the hot, fade the cold. If a team's won 5 straight, I'm likely to bet on them on the 6th or pass. And on the other side, if they've lost 6 straight in that 7th game, I'm likely to look to fade them or just pass on them. So I'm not a huge zigzag theory on the diamond, Eric, but I do appreciate the comment. Got Gentrite just yesterday saying using the last 14 days stats instead of full season. And he was particularly asking about handedness of pitcher, like a team up against a lefty, what their numbers are. And Gentrate, I'm a big believer, as you know, in what have you done for me recently, but in handedness of pitcher, that's one where I don't bring it in as much just because what are your numbers against lefties the last 2 weeks? Well, what if you only face like one or two lefties and they weren't very good? Then your numbers are going to be kind of inflated. But yes, man, to answer your question, I'm a big proponent of using like last 2 weeks, last 3 weeks numbers, but not so much in handedness of pitcher. But great comment, man. Scott in Toronto helping us out a couple days ago with the roof mostly being opened in Toronto when it's good weather over the summer. A lot of times it doesn't happen until, mid-late April. But Scott, huge shout out to you north of the border, man, because I'm down here in South Florida in the Marlins, under Derek Jeter, they like never opened the roof. I almost thought that the roof was kind of broken and they just didn't tell anybody and didn't want to spend the money to fix it. But now they're starting to open it a little bit more in South Florida. So interesting there because it can affect the totals in MLB. Samir in Caracas, Venezuela. Samir Castro. Bienvenidos. Gracias for commenting in here and saying he doesn't speak English. But Samir, mi español es no perfecto, pero yo quiero un programa en apuestas deportes de béisbol en la futura. So I just got to work on my Spanish there, man. But that is in the plans. I want to be able to speak Spanish and do a baseball betting show in the future. One more here, Gold Glove. He was saying a couple shows ago that I laid the -1 run line instead of the 1.5 run line with a home team. And I do need to be a little bit more on point with how much money you need to lay on the money line, which is a little bit more than just splitting the bet. I didn't want to go into it too much just because I don't think it's great content for video, but it was a good point, Gold Glove. And guys, if you're ever laying the -1 line, a lot of sports books now have it. So you can just find it on the sports book. It does it for you. But really, if you just Google how to do a -1 in an MLB run line, it will show up with how much money you need on the money line and how much money you need on the run line. So just a couple comments there. Wanted to give a shout out to all you guys and everybody smashing the like button, liking the content. So last game up here, guys, 8:10 Eastern. Cleveland Guardians, Houston Astros to finish off the card. Logan Allen, the lefty, going for Cleveland. And Spencer Arrighetti, the slated starter here for the Astros. Astros -125 to -130 home favorites. 9 in the hook being the total. This is 8:10 Eastern start. Cleveland 20-10 on the season. Houston 10-20. So exact opposite profiles through the first 30 games of the season. Also home road dichotomy. Houston just 5-10 at home. Cleveland 12-6 on the road. So 67% winning percentage for Cleveland, both overall and on the road, and 33% for Houston overall and at home. Yet Houston's going off as the favorite. I almost think this is just, what uniform are these guys wearing? And past performance of Houston in past season, I mean, they've been a great team, for multiple years now. This year, not so much. So I think the market is a little bit slow to react to this. And with Houston commanding this favorite price tag with Arrighetti on the hill, he's a 2021 6th-round selection out of ULL here, Louisiana Lafayette, the former Raging Cajun, 3 starts, 10 innings, 18 hits, almost 2 hits per inning completed, 13 earned runs and 7 walks. And his numbers were not great in the minors either. In over 120 innings and double and AAA last year, he was getting knocked around. So I like Cleveland here, guys. Logan Allen, his ERA is a little inflated, 5.4, but the advanced metrics look a little bit better. And 2 of the last 3 lineups he faced were the Braves and the Yankees. So, guys, I think Cleveland's the side. I mean, offensively, I think it's a wash, but a big bullpen advantage here towards Cleveland. Clase has gone back-to-back, their closer, but he only threw 5 pitches yesterday, so I think he should be good to go today. And Abreu and Montero, two bullpen arms for Houston, went back to back and both threw over 30 pitches. So I'm not so sure they'll be available. Big late inning advantage here towards Cleveland. Plus price on the Guardians to end it, guys. That does it for Drew's Daily Diamond. That will be the Cleveland Indians in the nightcap. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. Please smash that like button, comment below. I am Drew Martin. Check out Premium Picks, wagertalk.com. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, cash those tickets. Thanks for tuning in.